Shalom, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to cover with you my chest rig. Now naturally, we all know what's going on in the world today. The US and Israel are at war with Iran, I guess. There's a lot of nonsense happening in the world. You know, you hear a lot when people talk about sleeper cells here in the US and all kinds of other nonsense that's going on and happening. But all things considered, we as prepared citizens need to be prepared. And with that, I've got my chest rig right here in all of its glory. This is a TREX arms quad flap, which specifies there's 4 flaps, meaning in its capacity you can justifiably carry 8 magazines. I choose to carry 6, and if you don't have, you know, a knife, we'll just go ahead and come down here. If you don't have a knife, hydration, and an admin pouch or a general purpose pouch, you could put at least 1, 2, I'd say comfortably you could call it at least 1, 2 extra pouches, double stack pouches, giving you the capacity of 12 magazines total on the chest rig. But I find it far more important to be able to carry on your person hydration and getting as much kit and capability on your person as possible, which is why I have my kit situated the way I do. So with that, we'll just start from this end. Again, this is TREX arms. This is TREX arms. This is just a dangler pouch that I got off of Amazon. And this one's kind of important to me because I've got a shorter torso, which is why I chose this specific dangler pouch, because most of the dangler pouches that you find on Amazon are longer. They go to about right here, so they're at least a good 2 inches longer and 1.5 inches, and I don't like that because then that takes my chest rig from being about right here down to about right here, and that just doesn't work for me. So for starters, on my person, I carry 32 ounces of water. That does not, now this is full all the time, and I've got to stress it's incredibly important to replace or replenish your water over time. So if it sits or you go a stint without training, it's just a good idea to replace the water that you have, so that you've got fresh water on hand. So I like to have that on my kit, on my person, and that's going to sit just on my left side here. Next up, I've got my Gerber strong arm. This is American made, it's full tang. I love everything about this knife. If there's one thing that I don't like about it, it's that it's a 420 high carbon stainless. I think there are better steels out there, but all things considered, it's easy to sharpen. I don't necessarily have to worry about putting oil on the blade to make sure it doesn't corrode or anything like that. It's just a good blade altogether. So we'll cover The pouch is here. I've got 2 mags with 60 grain 5.56 VMAX, 60 grain VMAX. Fantastic rounds. If you've ever gone coyote hunting or anything like that, you know exactly what that does to live flesh. This is a fantastic self-defense or a home defense round. Don't necessarily have to worry about over penetration because the polymer tip really helps with expansion of the round and fragmentation of the round. And then of course I've got 4 other magazines of 55 grain soft point, and again, none of the rounds that I carry are full metal jacket. I don't want full metal jacket. The opportunity for over penetration is incredibly high, especially in a defensive situation. And if you're practicing the Mozambique drill, a lot of people teach, we'll come up for this, a lot of people teach, you know, the Mozambique drill, you're gonna run 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. That's not really great, especially nowadays when so many people are wearing level 4 plates plus, you know, that's gonna that level 4 plates are gonna defeat the round in and of itself. Now, naturally, you're gonna have quite the deformation in the level 4 plates, so the opportunity to cause tension pneumothorax or something along those lines if you're not wearing a padding under your plates, okay, that can cause tension pneumothorax or a severe bruise at minimum, right? But that's what I've got there. 55 grain 5.56 soft point to encourage expansion and fragmentation of the round. And prominently, if I'm in a defensive situation, my ideal round is the 60 grain VMAX. So they perform well. All of my rifles run both of these rounds flawlessly. I've got a lot of training, a lot of rounds down range, you know, that I've put accurately on target. So run a round that you know, like, and trust to do the job that you need it to do. So let's move on to the next pouch here. Next pouch is more or less an admin pouch. I've yet to paint these, and of course you can get a green version. You can strip these and wrap them with electrical tape or something like that. I'll just paint them, but these are like a Nipex. Actually, these are Crescent. Yeah, these are the Crescent brand, but they're fantastic. They do the job. Any wire or anything that I need to get into actually cutting and put some severe leverage on to make sure it's cutting, these are great for that. I've got a Silky saw. This is the F180. It just cuts wood. They make this with a green handle and a black blade if you need tactical, but all things considered, it still does the job. And these cut incredibly fast and they cut incredibly well. Then of course you can get a black 6-inch Crescent wrench. Again, it's just a utility tool, so you never know what you're going to run into. and I predominantly run these for my wilderness kit. Are they necessary? That depends. That's going to be mission specific. So MET-TC, what does the mission actually call for when you're getting into something? Then of course we'll run down to my general purpose pouch. For starters, I've got my rifle cleaning kit. In my rifle cleaning kit, I've got gun lube, gun grease, and I predominantly run this on my pistol and this on my rifle. I've got a brush with small brushes on it too, small brush end. Then of course, cleaning rods, whatever Allen wrenches that I need. These are for my adjustable gas block, so I can just grab them if I need to make an adjustment on my gas block, open it up, close it up, what have you. And then of course, blue Loctite. So if I need to make an adjustment in the field on my rifle, on the go while I'm training or anything like that, I can do everything that I need to do out of this one pouch and be pretty solid, be pretty well set and good to go with whatever I need to do. I had this in there a specific way to help with closing. There we go. Because form factor is a thing. Trying to get this down as small as possible. I've got a balaclava. You can use that as a rag, clean your optics, what have you, cover your face, because it's a sleeve, right? Just a multicam balaclava, and it's actually kind of nice to have in the winter when you're training. So I've got that. You can use it for a lot of different uses. North American Rescue triangular bandage. If you've come out with refuge and done our wilderness responder training, you know all the myriads of uses that you can get out of a triangular bandage or a cravat, right? I've got carpenter pencils. These are fantastic if you need to splint, or if you need to utilize these you double them up and use them as a windlass to make a tourniquet out of a cravat. Multi-tool. This is the Leatherman Surge. And yeah, it used to be painted. Everything ends up shining at some point, you know, over time and use. You can tell right here, it's tan. I had this whole thing painted tan, and just over time and use, friction in my gloves and all of that, just wearing it down. Red chem lights, if necessary. Got a sharpened pencil here. This is a lens pen. So on one side, you've got brushes. You've got a brush that you can clean the lens on your optic. If you're running an LPVO or a red dot, you can brush all of the excess dirt off that you build up on the end of the lens. Then on the other end is like a convex, yeah, it's a concave, there we go. So it's like a cup, it's a bowl here, but it contours to most lenses, and you can utilize that to just kind of fine clean your lens there. I totally recommend somebody, like if you're running optics and such, you need this. Gotta have something to be able to clean your lenses. and keep everything effective and ready to go. And of course, I've got my Right in the Rain pen here and a Right in the Rain notebook, all in the chest rig. Okay, let me put all this back here. That goes down low. Put that up top in front. As the likely, I have this kind of situated to where the things that I'm more likely going to need or utilize are most easily accessible. So like the Right in the Rain, the lens pen, or my rifle cleaning kit, easily accessible. And of course, in this pouch here, I have my Ready Edge knife sharpener. You can get this at refugemedical.com with the Refuge branding and all of that. Refuge has recently partnered with Ready Edge to come up, or to rather offer these in the store, so you can get that at refugemedical.com. This is a fantastic blade sharpener. As a matter of fact, I've got a knife in the truck. It's a CPM 3V, which it's an incredibly hard steel, and this sharpens it perfectly. This, I mean, the way it removes material, I've never actually sharpened that knife so easily. Every other method that I've used to try and sharpen that knife doesn't do what this does. So all things considered, this is a fantastic product, and of course it threw an incredible edge on this Gerber strong arm as well. So Ready Edge, get you one. And it's small, it just fits right in that pocket there. You can see it's about the size of my index finger. That's it, that's all it is. Fits right in that front pocket. Now moving on to the dangler pouch here, you can see off to the side I've got a carabiner with some gloves. This carabiner is a Petzl, and it is a legitimate life support carabiner, meaning I can utilize this to climb. That's incredibly important. And of course, my gloves here, they are the 511 Dura Grip. I don't know, I'll put what they are in the description below, but they're fantastic. I've got a headlamp, and you can see there it's red light only first. So the only way I can get a white light out of it is if I'm intentional with it, and I have to hold this button down. Otherwise, the moment I press that button, it reverts right back to red, and I can cycle through red over and over and never hit white light unless I'm holding that button down, and then I can cycle through the modes there. Get you a red light headlamp. Can't stress that enough. Being able to see in the dark without destroying your night vision capability, the way your eyes adjust, red light's the way to go. Green light is similar. Depends on the sight, the visual spectrum that you're dealing with, but all things considered, green light is fantastic, but I found red and it does the job. I've got, let's see, cuff key, a spare radio, battery, the thick version, which pairs with my radio, my push-to-talk. That is a Yaesu FT65R with the diamond antenna. Get yourself a high quality radio. This is weather resistant. I've done just a ton of training in cold, in the wet, in the hot. Never had an issue with this radio. I've had push-to-talks fail on me, but that's to be expected. My last push-to-talk lasted for about 3 years, and it was fantastic until it just started to short out. But you know, with this, you know, moving and routing and all of that good stuff, going from kit to kit, or going on my grindstone vest whenever we're deploying with Grindstone Ministries doing disaster relief work, the push-to-talk gets a lot of abuse over time. And then this did come with like a clip back here. It broke, so I just have the screws in place in case I ever decide to replace that clip. I can just put a new clip right back on it. Just haven't had the need to do that yet. Spare battery for the radio is incredibly important. Got a Cliff Bar. Some redundancy for fire. In this leather pouch is a lens. Very thick lens, but you can utilize it to make fire. So again, redundancies. I carry on my person a cigar torch and a like a regular Bic lighter, and then of course in my kit in the truck I've got multiple lighters and fire starting kits and stuff like that. But you know, there's a lot of different things you can utilize or do with a magnifying glass. Let's see, I've got some Morale. This is Black Buffalo. It's a tobacco alternative. I enjoy that. I feel like it's the closest thing that you can get to Copenhagen without actually being Copenhagen. And then I've got a 4 camo face paint with a mirror. Signaling is incredibly important. You see that? People, like if you're trying to signal and you're catching the sun, people will be able to see that from very far away. And then let's see, got a cuff key, and this is a fire rod, a ferrocerium rod. It's made by Exotac. It's fantastic. I literally love this. It throws sparks like crazy. And of course that back screws off and you've got some cotton there for fire tinder if you need it. Something nice and dry, and it's got an O-ring right here to keep that nice and dry in the event that you ever have to use it. You've got fire redundancy. And then a compass. This is the Cominga US compass. So each of these, on the west and the east, and then the north line, then of course my guidelines here on the ends, that's all tritium. So I can navigate in the dark if need be. Tritium's the way to go. I don't necessarily like phosphorescent, though you can make it work. Phosphorescent, it just requires a light source to make those ends glow the way they do. So that is the dangler pouch. I don't know what pouch this is. Again, I got it on Amazon. It does the job. That's all I can ask for it. It does everything that I need it to, nothing that I don't. And let's move around to the back side. Actually, right here, you see I've got, let's see, there we go, in the light, out of the shadow. I've got trauma shears and a soft tee, a tourniquet. Close to my body, protected, never have to worry about it. And it tucks right down into this radio pouch here. So what I typically do is I'll run my radio on my right hand side and then wrap this underneath this hook and loop here, just like so. And then I've got my push to talk on my shoulder, just like that. And then I'll take my antenna and run it right here through my shoulder strap. So I've got everything squared away, ready to go on my person in a moment's notice. And then if you ever come out and train with us, you'll notice myself, T, and of course the other cadre, the trainers that we have with Refuge Training will be running our chest rigs while we're training. One, it's training for us, getting the time and opportunity to gain familiarity. The more time that you can spend in your rig, the better off you're going to be. And of course, I've got my helmet here. This is an ultralight. Let's see, what is this? This is a Ceradyne ultralight weight helmet, level 3A. And oh my gosh, it is ultralight. So this is a ballistic helmet, but I mean, it's really incredible just how light it is. It's ultra high. And then of course I've got the Ear Pro here with the gel cups that kind of come down and around and clamp into my ears. With these specific Ear Pro, I found that these retention arms, the way they create pressure on my ears, is vastly superior, specifically to this Ear Pro. Now, if I had Peltors, I'd probably run the ones that come down from up here and have the wire that come down and squeeze the ear. But with that said, I think these are some knockoff. I want to say I paid maybe $130, $150 for the Ear Pro. They work, they do the job. I can hear, they cancel out noise, they do all the things, and of course the most important factor is I can plug them in to a push to talk that goes straight to my my radio here. But I had that push to talk on my plate carrier. So typically if I'm running this, I'm going to be running my plate carrier as well. Now, it's not to say that I can't remove that push to talk. It's really very easy to do, and I can always just run that push to talk in place of my lapel mic. But for what I typically do in the training that we do with Refuge, I typically just run the lapel mic off the radio. So I've got multiple sets of what I need. I've got all the capability. The only thing that I don't have is night vision yet. I've got the G34 mount, and I'm just kind of taking the route to build up my kit over time. And eventually I'll be upgrading these to Peltors. Can't afford that just yet. You know, dropping $500-600 on a set of single lead Peltors is a little bit out of my price range right now. Eventually I'll do it, but like PJ says, Pastor Joe with Viking Preparedness, do the best you got, do the best you can with what you have where you're at, and that's what I'm doing, the best I can with what I've got where I'm at. So yeah, there you go. That's my kit, guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If there's anything else that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. This video is dropping first on Patreon, and then we'll give it some time, and then I'll release it to YouTube. If you care about Patreon, you want to support the channel, I do a lot of Bible reading, a lot of Bible teaching. Yeah, Patreon is going to support me in that and allow me the opportunity and freedom to be able to teach and preach and share the word the way I know the Father desires me to. So, love you guys. Bless you. If you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. Build out a kit. Be ready to go in a moment's notice to do the things that you need to do to protect your loved ones in the time that's coming. Shalom.